What's up, guys? TeachMeGrappling. Brian Peterson here. Just got home from the gym, and I thought I'd tell you guys a little story. What I wanted to talk about is it was a couple weeks back. I was at the NAGA tournament in Las Vegas. I know some of you guys know that. You remember one of our boys, Anton, ended up getting disqualified for bare feet. Anyway, not keeping his flip-flops on. Anyway, there was something else that happened at that tournament that I wanted to discuss. And it's a problem in the martial arts. It's a problem in many aspects of the world we live in my opinion. And again, let me start out by saying, some of you guys may disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm going to give you my opinions, so keep that in mind. If you guys want to argue in the comment section, that's what it's there for. We can talk about it, but I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think is right and what I think is the direction we should go as a community in grappling, in jiu-jitsu, in martial arts, and in life. Just anyone. What happened? Let me tell you this story, okay? I was at the tournament. The tournament had just got going, okay? So keep this in mind. We're at a jiu-jitsu tournament. They've got gi, they've got no gi. Shouldn't make a difference, but the point is, I'm watching a match, and there's two athletes. And I don't want to say what school they're from. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but there's two athletes. And I will say that they were female, and this has nothing to do with it. I just wanted to mention, maybe it'll add some color. So these are two females. I would estimate that maybe they're blue belts in jiu-jitsu, which is still relatively new. That means you kind of got your bearings. You kind of know what's going on, but you're definitely far from black belt. And even that shouldn't even make a difference on the story I'm about to tell you. So let's just assume they're blue belts. They're competing, and it's a tight match. And I believe, let's say person A is beating person B, okay? Maybe by 1 point or 2 points. And as person B is being encouraged by their coach to execute technique in order to win, let's say go for a Kimura or go for a leg lock. And you can tell as I'm watching this, I know what I'm looking at, that the student is not listening to the coach very well. So right off the bat, I'm noticing an athlete that is struggling to take the coaching instructions, is very, very pressured at that moment, under a lot of stress, in order to win. Probably a lot of panic is going on. And then the next thing you know, as the coach is trying to get the student to execute, let's say, a footlock or a heel hook, the next thing you know, the student, it's time's running down. There's probably 10 seconds left. And person B, the student, ends up executing the leg lock, ends up finishing the match. Person A taps out. When I saw it, I was like, wow, my first thoughts. The second I saw the tap, I was like, wow, that was really cool. I mean, she tapped her out with only a few seconds left. She was about to lose. Then the next thing happens. I see this athlete get up and immediately pound the chest and scream out, "I'm the fucking best." Excuse my English. I'm the effing best. I was blown away at that moment, okay? To hear them scream out. Now, the referee didn't say anything. So I kind of took a glance at the ref, and I understand what it's like to be a ref. I was a ref myself for a long time. It's one of those things where you might just want to, you hope it just quietly goes away. Either way, he raises the athlete's hand. I did see the athlete, after calming down, maybe 10 to 15 seconds go by, and she shook her opponent's hand. And then the next thing I waited for was, what is the coach going to do? And I didn't see the coach. Now, maybe something was said. I did not see the coach give the athlete any kind of stern warning, I think this is a big problem. I did not like what I saw. Again, if you think it's all good, it's gravy, you guys can go on in your life and do what you want to do. It's a free world, free country in the U.S. You can do it. But I want to give my opinion on this. I immediately went up to my students. I had about 10 students sitting down in a group. They all saw it. I immediately walked over to them and I said, hey guys, I just want you to know, don't you ever, ever act that way on a competition mat or anywhere in our room, in someone else's room, on a competition mat. That is, to me, absolutely the opposite of the way you should be behaving on a competition mat. I believe in being humble. I believe in showing respect. I think that is the opposite. I think it shows very much disrespect to the coach, the academy, the fellow students, the tournament, the organizers, the opponent, the referee, and to themselves. Now, I do want to say this. I believe that your excitement that you have after a match is real. It's yours. I believe that your reaction and your excitement to a win should be directly proportionate to the size of the competition. When we watch the World Series and we see a Major League Baseball team win the World Series or the NFL Super Bowl, we very normally see athletes celebrate. And that is, I think, warranted. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful thing. It's time to celebrate. That is exactly the time to celebrate. When you have won that world title or that major title, I don't care if it's tennis, I don't care what it is, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. Now, when someone fights in the UFC, if you've trained your whole life and you're reaching the pinnacle of the sport and you're competing for the UFC title and you win, you better be doing backflips, jumping off the cage, celebrating, crying, all that stuff. When you are an entry-level MMA fighter and it's your first time in the cage, I know what it's like. I've been there. You get a feeling, you get charged up, and you get this crazy adrenaline that just comes over you. And you've got to do is, it's commonly said, it was told to me when I was young, act like you've been there. Act like you've been there before. And that can be hard. But we don't want athletes acting like they just won the Super Bowl when all they did was just have a local MMA fight. Okay, or in this case, a grappling match at Naga in Las Vegas. Now, I've heard people say that Naga's a big tournament. And it depends on it's your perspective. Not trying to knock Naga, but guys, let me give you the honest truth. Naga's a tournament like any other tournament. Okay? In grappling, in jiu-jitsu, if you're at Abu Dhabi, if you're at the IBJJF Black Belt World Championships, I could see you celebrating. When you're a blue belt, even at the IBJJF Pan Am's Worlds, you need to just kind of check yourself, in my opinion. Okay? I know you're passionate. I know you love it. I know that you're happy. There's nothing wrong with that. But I really think that we should suppress some of that and stay humble and realize there's a long road in that journey to greatness. This is something that I feel is the way. Now, there's many other people with different opinions, but this is also how I was brought up. Remember, I started with wrestling, and in wrestling, I was taught to get my hand raised. The referee does that. I don't beat my chest. I don't pound my chest. I don't jump up and down. I get my hand raised, I shake my opponent's hand, and I walk off the mat. And then honestly, I get a little bit of a shellacking from my coach because he tells me what I did wrong and he tells me what I did right. And maybe he strokes me a little bit with a little pat on the back, makes me feel good, tells me to get ready for my next one. Simple as that. And once you've done hundreds of them, you start to realize, just chill out. You don't need to pound your chest after winning a local tournament or even just a match, which is all this particular athlete won. Okay. Now, maybe there was one other person in the bracket. Okay. And she knew she won the tournament. So she decided to say, I'm the effing best. Guys, that's the definition of a small tournament. Okay. If there's one person in your weight class or two people in your weight class or even 8 people in your weight class, that is not a big tournament, okay? There was no qualifying to get there. Anybody could sign up. We need to stay a little more humble. This is the martial arts. And coaches out there, please, you don't have to agree with me, but I think it's better for society. We don't need people beating their chests like they're the greatest of all time when they've won these small little competitions. I think it's, I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for society. I don't think that's the way. It's not how I bring my kids up. You're welcome to. Anybody can. You know what? When people do it to us, I shrug my shoulders and I look the other way. But when it's my kids and my students, I let them know how to properly behave, in my opinion. Now, just because I say it's proper, like I said, you can think otherwise. I'd love to hear your ideas in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think there's no problem with it? I think that there's a cultural thing. I think, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, the athletes in Brazil, I noticed right away back in the 90s, when they would win, they would act a little different than we did in wrestling. But I also realized that there was a point sometimes where they felt that the tournaments that they were in were bigger than I think they are. Now, sometimes, like, I've been a referee for a lot of years. I've witnessed good, great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners from Brazil compete and win what I would call an absolute bottom of the barrel local tournament. And because the medals are nice and big, maybe they thought it was, big deal. And they celebrated like crazy when it was over, And I was like, man, it's not the Olympics. Chill. But, I think there's a cultural thing there. And, again, what is there about? There's multiple ways that cultures can thrive and do good things. Why is Coach Brian trying to take away the fun? I don't feel that I am taking away the fun. I feel like I'm teaching people respect and discipline and humbleness. So when it's a big deal and you win something really big, feel good about yourself. I have before. But when it's just that local tournament, I would say keep it to a minimum. Your reward is you get your hand raised and you won the match. So feel good about yourself. Then get back in the gym and work on those mistakes. If you're a blue belt and you win a local tournament and meanwhile you can't even pay attention to your coach, but you win a local tournament, you win a match, and you want to say you're the best ever, or maybe not the best ever, but you're the effing best, maybe you should think twice about using those words and realize that you got a long way to go. You might want to save that for later on when you win something really, really big. All right? Thank you guys so much. Teach Me Grappling. Click like, please. Help us out with the YouTube algorithm. And comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Am I out of line? Am I out of place? Or do you think that athlete should know better? Do you think that coach should have maybe said something? Maybe they did. I wasn't there the whole time. But it definitely It didn't look like the way I would have done it. That would have been the first thing I would have said. I would have said, keep your mouth shut. Don't say that. I would have said, show some respect. Go shake that coach's hand. Go shake that other opponent's hand. And I don't ever want to hear that coming out of your mouth. That's what I would have said. All right. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you guys next time with more great stuff.